You ever catch a whiff of after-school air? The scent of Capri Suns, crayon-stained homework folders, and microwave pizza rolls, and feel like you're 8 years old again? That was the golden hour. The moment you sprinted off the school bus, kicked off your Velcro sneakers, and bolted to the couch like your life depended on catching the opening theme song. This wasn't just television, it was ritual. The holy grail of weekday afternoons, before TikTok, before YouTube rabbit holes, before streaming turned kids into algorithm-trained content zombies. They were the shows, the ones that made the world stop spinning for 22 glorious minutes. These were the programs that glued us to our tubes TV, rewired our personalities, and low-key taught us everything we knew about friendship, chaos, and the weird mystery of being a kid. So grab your fruit snacks, adjust the antenna, and prepare yourself for a nostalgia overload, because these are the 7 TV shows every 90s kid rushed home to watch. Number 7, Rugrats. 1991 to 2004. Tiny humans, big adventures. Rugrats was chaos theory in diaper form. What started as a Nickelodeon gamble became the cornerstone of every 90s kids cartoon rotation. Tommy Pickles wasn't just a baby. He was a philosopher in footy pajamas, a bald little Buddha arm with a screwdriver, and boundless curiosity. But let's be real. Angelica carried that show like a tiny blonde tyrant in training. She was bossy, manipulative, and dramatic in a way that felt suspiciously like every playground diva we ever met. Meanwhile, Chucky Finster was basically the patron saint of anxious kids, proving that bravery doesn't mean you're not scared, it means you go along anyway. And the best part? Everything was seen through baby goggles. To the adults, it was just a living room. To the Rugrats, it was a jungle, a fortress, a dreamscape of weird metaphors and magical realism. The animation looked like it was drawn with crayons and sleep deprivation, and we loved it. There was something deeply comforting about how the world seemed huge, mysterious, and a little scary, but never unimaginable, because as long as the babies stuck together, they could figure it out. Number 6, Hey Arnold, 1996 to 2004. You didn't just watch Hey Arnold, you lived in it. That intro alone, with the jazzy horns and Arnold walking through the city like he owned it, set the tone. This wasn't fantasy, this was a cartoon with soul, and a football-headed protagonist who was wiser than most adults we knew. Arnold was the kid you wanted to be friends with, and low-key the kid you wanted to be. Thoughtful, chill, impossibly forgiving, he lived in a boarding house with some of the wildest characters ever animated. Grandpa Phil, anyone? And his days were spent navigating neighborhood life like a 10-year-old Dalai Lama. But let's talk about Helga Pataki, the original queen of secret, romantic angst. She bullied Arnold by day and worshipped a shrine to him made of chewed gum by night. That's not just dedication. That's a Greek tragedy disguised as Nickelodeon comedy. And Gerald, the smooth-talking best friend with a killer high-top fade and a voice like butter? Iconic. The show didn't just give us laughs. It gave us life lessons about kindness, about heartbreak, about pigeon men and stoop kids. And that one episode that still makes you cry, you know the one, Mr. Wynn and his daughter? Yeah, we're not okay. Hey Arnold treated kids like they had real emotions, real struggles. It gave us a world that was gritty, strange, and beautifully human. That show didn't talk down to us, it pulled us up. On number 5, The Wild Thornberrys, 1998 to 2004. Imagine if National Geographic and punk rock had a baby and it learned to speak to animals. That's The Wild Thornberrys, a nature doc wrapped in pure animated chaos. This Nickelodeon gem followed Eliza Thornberry, ginger adventurer, braces wearer, and certified animal whisperer on global expeditions with her hilariously dysfunctional documentary filming family. Eliza wasn't a Disney princess. She was awkward, brave, and constantly covered in mud or monkey fur. And her travel buddy? A feral jungle boy named Donnie, voiced by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who communicated entirely in screeches and wild gestures. Pure cinematic gold. Her dad, Nigel Thornberry, became a meme before memes were even a thing. That mustache, that voice, that smashing charisma. And Debbie, the sulky older sister who wore platform flip-flops in the rainforest. A whole mood. But underneath the madness, the Wild Thornberrys taught kids about real wildlife. actual ecosystems, conservation, the interconnectedness of all living things. And it did it without ever feeling like a school lesson. It was an adventure series with brains and heart. And let's not forget the crossover episode with the Rugrats. A fever dream? Absolutely. But it was the moment we realized the Nicktoons universe was deeper than we ever imagined. Now, number 4, Full House, 1987 to 1995. If the 90s had a sitcom Bible, Full House was Genesis. This show was like warm apple pie with extra dad jokes, wholesome, cheesy, and somehow always playing on your living room TV, whether you asked for it or not. Set in San Francisco and powered by 3 grown men awkwardly raising 3 girls, Full House gave us one moral lesson per episode, served up with a string swell and a tight hug. You had Danny Tanner, the obsessive-compulsive dad who could disinfect a room with his eyes. Uncle Jesse, the Elvis-worshipping heartthrob who made leather jackets look like parenting gear. And Joey, the walking cartoon with a voice for impressions and a brain made of jelly beans. But let's be honest, Michael Tanner was the show. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen turned "You Got It, Dude" into a national chant, and Stephanie's "How Rude," honestly, still useful today. Full House wasn't edgy, it wasn't cool, but it didn't need to be. It was safe. A hug in sitcom form, a place where problems got solved in 22 minutes, and no matter how messy things got, someone always said something heartwarming in the final 2 minutes to pull it all back together. If you didn't cry during the "I am so glad I have you" dad talks, were you even watching? Full House was sugary sweet comfort TV, and we absolutely lapped it up. Now, number 3, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 1990 to 1996. Yo, this is the show that made you sprint home just to catch that opening beat drop. Now, this is the story all about how. You're already rapping it, aren't you? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was more than a sitcom. It was a cultural reset. It took Will Smith, fresh off rap success with DJ Jazzy Jeff, and dropped them into a Bel-Air mansion full of high society, awkward dinners, and a butler named Jeffrey who roasted everyone like it was his full-time job. Will wasn't just a funny cousin, he was the heartbeat of the show. Street smart, loud, hilarious, but with a surprising emotional depth. And when the show hit, it hit. That scene, you know the one. "How come you don't want me, man?" still gets you right in the throat. Then there was Carlton, with the most unintentionally iconic dance of all time. Hillary, the ultimate shopaholic diva, and Uncle Phil, played by the legendary James Avery, who brought such gravitas and warmth to the role that he basically became America's collective dad. The show tackled everything: racism, class, identity, grief, without ever losing its comedic punch. It was slick, stylish, and so much smarter than people gave it credit for at the time. And let's be real, you didn't just watch Fresh Prince. You absorbed it, quoted it, lived it. That show taught us how to be funny and real, a rare combo that still stands the test of time. Now, number 2, Dexter's Laboratory, 1996 to 2003. You didn't need a PhD to appreciate Dexter's Laboratory. All you needed was an after-school snack, a love for gadgets, and a tolerance for very aggressive Eastern European accents. Created by the legendary Jindy Tartakovsky, this Cartoon Network classic gave us the most brilliant, short-statured scientist since Einstein. If Einstein wore a lab coat and yelled, "DD, get out of my laboratory," every 5 minutes, Dexter was a kid genius with a secret underground lab bigger than most tech startups. Seriously, how his parents never noticed the entire basement was a nuclear-grade innovation center is one of cartoons' history's great mysteries. The show gave us laser beams, time machines, clones, shrinking rays, you name it. If it made a whirring sound, Dexter probably built it out of Legos and plutonium. But the real chaos that came from Dee Dee, his ballerina sister and agent of absolute destruction. She was glitter and giggles, waltzing into Dexter's high-stakes scientific experiments like a sugar-fueled tornado in a tutu. One button push and boom! An interdimensional crisis, and yet we loved her for it. Because for all his smarts, Dexter never quite figured out how to outwit the pure, unpredictable force that was Dee Dee. And let's not forget Mandar, a rival boy genius with a bowl cut and evil laugh so grating it became iconic. The show didn't just celebrate nerdiness, it weaponized it, making being smart look cool, chaotic, and just a little bit dangerous. The animation? Bold, blocky, and completely its own thing. The tone? Somewhere between Looney Tunes and MIT. Whether it was the Dial M for Monkey, superhero spin-offs, or that one episode where Dexter learns French in his sleep. Omelette du fromage, anyone? The show was endlessly quotable and surprisingly clever. Dexter's lab made science feel like rock and roll. Every episode was an ode to curiosity, even when it led to accidental moon landings or molecular implosions. It made every kid believe their own bedroom closet might hide something way cooler than dirty laundry. Now coming in at number 1, Sister Sister, 1994 to 1999. Tia and Tamra Mowry. One name wasn't enough, you had to say both, because Sister Sister was a twin-powered sitcom that brought double the charm, double the jokes, and double the teenage drama. It aired on ABC and later the WB, where it became a staple for every kid who knew the feeling of fighting over clothes, privacy, and the TV remote. The premise? 2 identical twins separated at birth, adopted by completely different parents, then reunited as teens in a Detroit mall. And if that sounds like the plot of a soap opera, it kinda was. But with jokes and heart, and a theme song so catchy it lived in your brain rent-free. Sister, Sister, talking about two-way twinning. Tia was the brainy, sensible one. Tamra, the wild card. Together they tackled everything from school crushes to prom drama to literally switching identities because people couldn't tell them apart. Classic twin hijinks. But let's not overlook the grown-ups. Lisa Landry, Tamra's fashion designer mom, was loud, bold, hilarious, and never missed a one-liner, played by Jackie Harry. She walked into every scene like she owned it, and usually did. And Ray Campbell, Tia's buttoned-up adoptive dad, was the perfect straight man to all the chaos. Their co-parenting dynamic was surprisingly progressive for the time, and it worked. The show didn't shy away from real topics, either dating boundaries, racism, academic pressure, blended family issues, but it always kept things light, heartfelt, and just dramatic enough to keep us glued to the screen. Sister Sister was more than just a teen sitcom, it was a comfort show. A half hour where being awkward was okay. Being loud was encouraged and family wasn't always perfect, but it was always there. Plus, the twin fashion, impeccable. Matching hats and denim overalls have never been so powerful. And there you have it. 7 shows, 1 universal experience. You, a couch, and a race against time to get home before the intro music started. Before life turned into smartphones and binge drops and infinite scrolls, there was a time when TV felt earned. You waited all day for that one episode, and when it came on, it mattered because those shows weren't just entertaining. Hey, they were memory machines. For this feeling to last forever, you have to hit that like and subscribe button because with Box Set and Chill, the 80s and 90s never end. So now, we've got to ask, which show had you spreading home like the school bell was your starting gun? Drop it in the comments below, and if we missed your favorite, don't worry, we're always down for a part 2. Until then, don't touch that dial, just hit play.